Hello, my name is Ann Levitt and I work for Carestream Health, and I would like to talk to you today about how Carestream is working with Paymetric to manage their customer data. So I've been in IT for over 35 years, and I have been working in the SAP space, including procurement and finance projects and support efforts, and the last 6 years I have started working with Paymetric, and I was going to talk through what I've learned in working with this company and how it has worked for us here at Carestream. So the things that I'd like to go over today are a little bit about who Carestream is, how we've transitioned through SAP and Paymetric, what are some of the specifics that are requirements that Carestream needs in this space, and why we chose Paymetric, some of the benefits that we've seen, and where we're headed from here. Our CEO is Kevin Hobart, and we have sales in 2015 of $2.4 billion. We work in the medical field. We started out specifically in film business and have gradually grown to the digital business over the years. So we support both. We're transitioning more and more towards digital. One of our newer equipments is an X-ray machine that's portable, and it's used, say, at football games. If a player gets pulled off the field, they get an X-ray right there at the field. So it's an example that we kind of use being in Rochester near the Buffalo Bills territory. So we have also a dental business. It has to do a lot with dentists. I've been to a doctor's appointment recently, and when I'm checking in and the screens in the background, there was Carestream, our name, on the screens, because we also have an IT portion of our business where we sell IT software to doctors' offices, and it is just another part of who we are as a Carestream company. We are in the medical imaging business. We're in the dental business. We even do some toll coding for film from when we used to be totally film. We still have some of the film business. We're working on some nice new equipment that is soon to be announced, so we're always progressing and developing new products, and we have some good things coming in our future. So as far as Carestream and SAP has been, we have one SAP instance, and Carestream itself became Carestream in 2007. And we started right from scratch with SAP, and we had Paymetric right from the beginning, as we were a spin-off from another company who also had SAP and Paymetric. We have a dental business that we brought into SAP in 2011, and we have a new Hybris portal that we've just started up this year in March for our e-commerce business. We started with the US, and we'll gradually be building that out. Some other SAP products that we have also are CRM for our service business, SRM for purchasing, BW and P&C for reporting, and Concur was also bought by SAP, so we also use Concur for our employees for travel. Some of our current SAP projects, especially relating to Paymetric, is we're rolling out to more and more countries, and we're in the process now of working with Asia and the Latin American countries to roll out Paymetric for the sales side. And we're going to be extending our Hybris platform to more and more countries. So when we became a company in 2007, we started with SAP and Paymetric, and it was kind of running on its own, but we decided we wanted to upgrade from an in-house supported structure to having Paymetric support the software and the servers and everything. So we did an upgrade, and that's when I became involved 6 years ago. And we went through the upgrade. We had a project that we used Paymetric with. We received a transport of all the coding changes that we needed. We applied the coding changes and did testing. The software that they provided us had its own transactions. We added the transactions to our user roles, which included order to cash, the credit department, the IT group. The Paymetric software definitely impacts multiple pieces of the business. So all that was needed was supplied. We just added the transactions to our roles for our users. And we did testing and a conversion, and I believe that project took about 3 to 4 months, and we were up and going. It also gave us some new functionality that we didn't have before. Paymetric provided to us a GUI that we use, which is really nice, that we can monitor all the transactions that make it through Paymetric and their statuses if needed. And it's by country. We can run monthly reports. We can verify what transactions have gone through as needed. So it's a nice tool. As a part of this upgrade, we also received another portal that has the ability for me to give access to users to that portal to see, so say in the credit department, who needs to have access to this for reconciliation purposes or whatever. So I can control within Carestream who has access to this portal. And in this portal, there's also a help portal that is available. If you have questions or how does this work or how is this working for me, or are there new ways or other things I could be doing, you can always go to the portal and help and ask questions of Paymetric. And they're really good about directing questions also that I input through their help portal to say, if you have that kind of question, it can be answered through these articles that we've already written up, and they'll refer me to the articles directly, which is nice. As I said, a help portal to log problems if you're not sure how things are working or want clarifications on how things work. Since then, our next project that we did was we brought in our dental business. And up until that point, we were running about 1,000 transactions a month for credit cards. With the dental business, that added another 15,000 because we do a lot with dentist's office and contracts. It's a totally different type of business, not just for one sale, one off. The dental business is more for contracts that get, monthly billings. So we had to be able to handle a lot bigger volume, and we had to be able to authorize for contracts and not just a one-off sale. So that added some challenges to us, but we again had a project with Paymetric, and they worked through our design and showed us what features they had available to meet our business needs. While we did that Carestream dental conversion, we also added level 3 information, which means when we do send data to Paymetric, we add data down to the item level. We include freight, we include taxes, so that the customers, when they see their charges on their statements, they know more specifically what the charge is for, and it helps lower charge card rates so that it provides the chance to have less calls for the customer into the credit card to say, what are those charges? So they like the more information you send, the better, and that's why level 3 data is favored to keep more information to the customer. So now that we have the dental business in place, we've now expanded and we're going through more currency conversions. Last year we went live in Italy, France, Germany, Australia, and the UK, and Norway. So we added 6 or 7 new countries. We are also looking at expanding to other countries also, which means we might need to look at other processors. So I'll talk about processors in another slide coming up. We also bought some Paymetric software called XI Intercept, and what that does for us is it allows us to take SAP totally out of the PCI security worries, and that raw credit card data is only keyed in through this XI intercept, raw card data is never entered into SAP directly. So the audits that we used to worry about and go through for PCI compliance takes SAP right out of it because the raw card data never makes it into SAP. SAP stores card data, but it's only the token. We only store tokens that are supplied back to us by this XI intercept software by Paymetric. We also started the project to upgrade our portal for our customers, and that portal is using Hybris. And with that Hybris project, we implemented XI Intercept into the Hybris, so that portal also will only get tokens that are provided from the XI Intercept software. So Hybris then gets the token and feeds it over to SAP, and we still stay PCI compliant, which is great things for us. We store customer credit cards on our customer masters. We store the token from XI Intercept, and Paymetric then provides transactions to let the receivables department clear if a customer calls to clear open billings through using the tokens that they can enter right online. We have the Hybris using the XI Intercept, and we have an older portal that we use also for XI Intercept, which also is PCI compliant because they call the same XI Intercept software, and it keeps the raw card data out of SAP. It really reduces our risk. We don't have to worry about that 100-page document to keep our SAP environment in PCI validation, and only the tokens are kept, and it works really well for us. We also have another portal that by our dental business that they even allow a customer to sign in, and we pass over open billings, and they also use XI Intercept. Customer types in their raw card data, and it tokenizes it, and it sends back the card to pay the open billing. So this XI Intercept has worked really, really well for us. An overview to show how it works. We have either someone on a portal or someone calling into one of our Carestream call centers. An order is taken, or they want to pay one of their open bills, and the data is put through SAP as a token with the XI Intercept tokenizing the card first. The token and the data is then passed through Paymetric to our processor that our Treasury Department has worked through by country to define what processor we should use, and then that processor then settles clear through to the issuing bank. So there's a few steps in the process, but it keeps us in PCI compliance by using the tokenization, which works really well. So for payments, we can accept electronic payments at order creation or against open invoices. As I mentioned earlier, we accept payments on the web where the customer can call in and make their own payments with a credit card. The dental business uses recurring payments. Once a month, they pay a certain amount each month, and that is a separate process how we authorize and settle, but it is all doable within the Paymetric SAP environment. We also have down payments that work. So if you have a customer that's calling in and they want to put a certain amount down first, we authorize and settle just the down payment first, and then the rest of the order is settled after delivery. Paymetric has this GUI that we can use for reporting. The billing goes off and settles to a general ledger account. The bank statement comes back in electronically, and the two net together. It usually comes through as, we send out, say, $100 today in payments, and within 2 days, the settlement comes back into the bank as a lump sum also. So the lump sums net usually together really well, so you can balance that out. We store the tokens on the customer account, or we can store them on the order, either one. And we have level 3 data to keep lower fees, which is also a good thing. So we use tokens to keep our data safe in our databases, It eliminates our exposure to SAP, you're only using tokens on the web, and have our cardholder data. We really have our PCI compliance down really well. So it keeps us from audits. We use it in different pieces of our business, for receivables, for customers, for order entry. It impacts many parts of our business, and our B2B or portal work is tokenized, so it's all managed through the Paymetric software. And I had mentioned before, the U.S. dental, they can even check order statuses, make credit card payments, so it's all working for us. That's types of benefits that we've seen. We have a 24/7 business for service, and it's managed, and Paymetric is running 24/7. We have PCI compliance. We have automation by eliminating manual steps, letting the customer sign on and make bill payments. We have credibility with our electronic interchange. We have security around the tokens that we're storing instead of the raw card data. So it's a good software that I highly recommend. It really does what it needs to do. So what's next for us? As I said, we're expanding into Latin America region and Asia. We have a project, our normal projects include our global credit manager. We have someone from Treasury because we have to work with the banks to set up the links between the processor and then the bank where we want the money to be deposited. We need that banking relationship established when we're going to new countries. And we usually have myself, an IT person, and we usually have a Paymetric person on our project. So those are the normal types of people that are on a project. Usually by the time we work with, the Treasury works with the processors to get the connections all set up, and then they provide to us the information that we need to configure in SAP. Then it's just a matter of setting up the SAP configuration to add a new partner and doing testing. Another thing that I like about Paymetric is that they have a service that they call certification. So every time we bring up a new country, we develop all the scenarios that we need to test that we do in a normal business, and we run through a test for each of those different scenarios and submit it to Paymetric, and they look at our data that came across, and then they certify that everything looks good before we go live. So there's an extra level of security and confidence that when you do go live, that things are going to go well. We have e-services integration, so we've included the XI Intercept in the new Hybris, and that Hybris is now expanding to more countries. And we're working through Paymetric to look at some new software that they have now, XI Updater, which, as you know, cards expire or a card has issues and the customer has to swipe it out for a new card, and we can work with Paymetric to set up this new software that they have available so that we can get feeds, say on a monthly basis, it says, or weekly, or we're working on what that time frame would be, that we can get the replaced cards or the replaced expiration dates. Instead of sending letters out to our customers, then Paymetric can help keep our card data up to date, which will save us a lot of time. Our Hybris expansion, we're also looking at some P2P encryption in our dental business so that when someone is on the phone with a customer, instead of typing into the XI Intercept through there, when you're typing, instead of using your keyboard, there's a little keypad to keep encryption even one step further more secure. So we're looking at purchasing those to keep our environment another level of security better than we have today. So those are things that we have in process. We look forward to working with Paymetric in the future. They're an excellent group to work with, and I definitely enjoy working with them. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.